Hi everyone, my name is Tanya Defferary. I'm a counseling psychologist situated in Port Elizabeth, South Africa. And today with me, I have Marshall Lyles, all the way from Texas in the United States. And I think for a lot of you, he doesn't need introduction. I think what is so exciting for me today is last year when we were doing this, I was introducing you as a speaker that was coming to South Africa to do this workshop. And today I get to be part of that because I'm presenting along with you.
I am so excited too. I've mentioned this to you so many times, Tanya, but you were absolutely one of the highlights of last year for me, getting to know you and spend time with you. And the more we have found our how much shared passion we have with certain subjects within the field, and
Mm,
I think we found more and more rhythm in this
yeah,
particular topic where we're moving, what we're going to be creating. It
mm,
feels fresh to me. It feels like it's giving me life again. So I'm very
yeah.
grateful.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I think that's why we're here today. I think um, to share a little bit about what's happened, what went from a really random Facebook message a couple of years ago to planning this workshop for next year and some of the exciting plans that we have for everyone.
Hmm. It
So,
is
mm,
so exciting to know that, one of the last things that happened before I hid away off social media forever was you.
yeah.
Yeah, what an exit. What a good thing before I went into the cave of quiet.
Mm.
So that was one good thing that came out of Facebook for me.
Oh, thank you.
Uh,
So, I thought we'd start with maybe some people have already seen some of the adverts on your website, but the workshop that we have planned for next year is an exploration into expressive arts, but then looking at sort of contextual therapies, intergenerational therapies, and looking how that ties into parts therapy.
yeah. And
Mm,
I'm imagining uh, that many people even hearing those words might have heard something new, Tanya. I'm not sure that contextual family therapy is all that widely known where I live. I wonder
mm,
if you want to tell everyone what that's about.
mm. So contextual therapy, well, okay, so again, even the gentleman, the theorist who came up with it, his name is Ivan Bozomian, and quite a mouthful. So we call him Nudge for short. He actually started his work when he came over to the States in the work of family theory. So I mean, he was along with some of those first people like Virginia Satter and stuff that started. And he then sort of broke away from that sort of theoretical model, kind of looking at more, it's sort of like an in-between theory or therapy in a way where you're looking at work with both individuals, but also then within the context of their family, and then you can also work with family systems. And
Mm,
so when we're looking at this way of working with people, we start looking at what who you are as an individual, but then also what you bring into being
mm,
intergenerationally. So, what comes in the words we might use are things like delegations, so hidden loyalties, words like destructive entitlement. And we're looking at how a person does things, and sometimes unknowingly, unconsciously, we're playing out patterns that have actually
mm.
existed in our family in certain ways for years.
It's it's such a good reminder that sometimes we forget that there were models talking about parts using other words and
Mm,
other concepts and but that it's been around for a really long time. So
mm,
it's a lot of fun to be thinking that we're going to be playing with a way of holding intergenerational cultivation of
mm.
parts, basically.
Yeah.
Um, Honoring culture, honoring context,
Mm.
and getting to experience not just parts from a pain-based model, but even the things we want to preserve that we've
Yes.
inherited.
Yes. And I think
Mhm.
this ties in with a lot of the work, you've done and that you look at with attachment theory.
Yeah, it's so congruent, that
Mm,
that basically attachment rhythms are meant to be understood in the context of, kind of lineage. It's both our biology in the here and now, as well as, what's been moving forward in time, how our
Mm,
bodies and minds within a family context got trained to have connection to needs.
mm,
What is that connection? Is it tenuous? Is it ease? And there's so much understanding that we can have about attachment by widening our lens, that we need to look at the individual and we need to hold them in a context. We
I
need
mean,
to
that's.
understand that all those parts are relationally co-created inside of them.
Mm. So I love hearing you explain it and in a way that we're speaking different languages, but actually saying a lot of the same things. And I think that there's definitely a congruence in that. And I like how you're tying it to the parts work that we'll be looking at as well, maybe bringing in some of the Gestalt therapy, looking at defense mechanisms and that, as well as the IFS model too, and just looking at how we can start integrating these parts a bit more.
Oh yeah. And we
Understanding.
haven't even introduced my favorite word, that all of this is happening under the umbrella of dissociation theory.
Mm,
That we're going to be then talking about all of those things we just mentioned through the lens of dissociation, as
mm,
both looking at cultural patterns of trauma and
mm,
complex trauma, but also the other side of kind of spiritual, intuitive,
mm,
trance-like dissociative properties within certain
yeah.
cultures, and
Mm,
what that legacy looks like. And
mm.
and in that world, there might be voices other than the two of ours that people get to hear from.
Yes, we've got some exciting plans there with hopefully getting someone to come in who would be able to bring in a cultural understanding, a South African cultural understanding. Um, mm,
And
yeah.
and we may be hearing from a local artisan even about how all of that kind of plays into the art we work, because we're doing
Mm,
all of this through this expressive art lens. And so it's it I'm glad we got to break it down slowly, because it's a mouthful to say that we are going to be using expressive arts to explore internal parts through a dissociation lens under the co-occurring theories of contextual and attachment.
yes,
That is
just that
that's a
small thing
mouthful.
that we're covering.
We got several days that we're going to spend.
And I mean, I think that is something that everyone needs to know. From feedback from this year, what we've decided for the workshop for next year, we've definitely broken it down a bit more. There will be days in between. We will be having rest days and fun days and a lot of traditional South African experiences as well for everyone. So there'll be a lot of work, but there'll be a lot of time to play and rest as well.
We're bringing in new things to try and take care of our bodies, to
Mm,
have people there to help with that, in
mm,
addition to the amazing food that the chefs at this lodge provide us. And
mm,
so rest and body care and
yeah.
nutrition, are all part of the what we're really incorporating into the
Mm,
work, as well as creativity and
yeah.
and play and immersion in nature that is overwhelmingly beautiful.
Mm. And I think I don't know if we can share how much we are hoping to immerse people in the nature. um, but obviously, weather permitting, we are hoping to actually spend one of the days in the bush. So maybe what we haven't told everyone actually yet is where this is going to be happening. So we have partnered with the Nyosi Game Reserve, which is a local game reserve just outside of Port Elizabeth. And so we'll be staying there, we'll be living on the reserve and being able to go on game drives and viewing their beautiful giraffes and elephants and hopefully the baby cheetah cubs who will probably be quite grown then. I don't know if they'll still be there. But just, yeah, all those things. And so one of the days is going to actually be a picnic out in the bush and we will be doing sand trays in the South African sand, literally.
It's going to be amazing. And it's hard to describe how it feels to be there. the
Yeah.
property, the way it was honoring of the
Mm,
land and the people who have lived there, the way that the plants are cared for, the whole concept of rewilding and trying to
mm,
return things to the life that they always deserved. It's from an ecology point of view, it's so congruent with what we're going to be talking about in the
mm,
workshop of, what's it like to look at the things that need to be maybe
mm,
redeemed and what are the things that deserve to be preserved and how do we return to the balance
wow.
that
Mm,
all of us have always needed.
mm. I felt that. And I think I live down the road, but Nyosi has, once you're there, it's like you're in a different world. It's just like you're in a different space. And I can't wait to share that with people.
Yeah.
Mm,
We hope you will come. We do need you to know that we only
mm,
have a handful of spots left.
mm,
So it's kind of the final opportunity to get in. On my website, marshalllyles.com, it lists out all of the details, the dates, the cost, what's included, what would be on your own. All of that information is there. You can reach out to either one of us if you have questions about it. And
mm.
we have some returning friends from last year, and
Yeah.
a lot of old friends who didn't get to go last year that will be joining, and we can already tell from the group that's shaping up, it's going to be rich and nurturing and
Mm,
so playful.
mm, mm. I can't wait.